what are the topics of the conference? I guess a great place to start is with our plenary session. These are our keynote speakers. We have 4 keynote speakers. So I don't mess up any of the titles. I'm going to read off some of the titles here. We've got Professor John Bowers from the University of California, Santa Barbara. He's going to be speaking on hybrid silicon photonic integrated circuits. I think everyone will agree that's a very hot topic in photonics right now. A lot of applications and a lot of potential. We have Toshio Yanagita from Osaka University in Japan. He's going to cover single molecule imaging and nanometry, and the title ends with fluctuation and function of life. So we're bringing in a little bit of bio with the photonics here. Sir Peter Knight from Imperial College in London. This could be a talk on exploiting quantum coherence for new technologies. He's going to be covering timing, navigation, and sensors. We're now starting to get the ability to control in the quantum physics and make use of the quantum coherence in our systems. And we've also got Professor Kerry Bahala from California Institute of Technology. He's going to be talking about cold mechanics to stable microwaves, the future of optical microcavity research. So we've got a lot of topics. I mentioned we have 15 different subcommittees. These range from biology and displays through some of the more traditional photonics topics, nonlinear optics, optical communications. We've got some of those split up on through to metamaterials and microcavities. We've really got a great collection of experts that are trying to pull together the best program that we can for you. So I've got a question here. As an exhibitor, why should I exhibit and market my product at IPC? First of all, this is, for the photonics community, our flagship conference. So we're really trying to pull together the entire photonics community, and it's a great opportunity to take advantage of all these folks going around the hotel, seeing the talks and coming out saying, what is it that I should be looking to do next in my laboratory? We always have a really good exhibit at IPC. So this is a real opportunity for you to get in front of them. And in fact, what we're going to try and do this year, and we're basically soliciting some feedback from exhibitors, is we'd like to have a couple of special sessions that bring folks in to where the stands might be for the exhibitors. The one is, I mentioned this graduate student poster competition. What we're thinking about doing is essentially having graduate students who have published or presented work over the last year. Say we'll have a deadline as of last year's IPC. And there's not a big point in not ever presenting that work again. You've published it, presented it once. What we would like to do is offer an opportunity for the students to come in and present that work again with a poster they've already made or maybe a slightly modified one. We'd like to have them put that up near the exhibitors, bring in the conference attendees closer to the tables, basically exist over a longer time, 45 minutes to an hour, to sort of enhance the networking capabilities, networking opportunities for the students and also for the attendees with the exhibitors. We think that'll help bring folks around to the tables for the exhibitors. The other thing that we are thinking about doing for our exhibitors this year, and we're asking their opinions on this, is maybe having a separate session where it's sort of an exhibit only, but allow the exhibitors to do a product demonstration or a presentation. So, we have our technical papers, our technical sessions as part of the program. And a lot of times the companies wouldn't necessarily write up a paper and contribute, original research to to the conference, but we think there's also an opportunity that folks would really like to see what products do you have coming down the line, and maybe a little bit more technical detail for what's behind those products. And so we're thinking of offering something like maybe you have a 10-minute brief on your products and what are your new products coming out, for instance. Basically anything that you think would be more easily shown in a format like that. And again, this is really to bring the attendees out closer to the exhibitors and get some useful discussions going on during those times, in addition to the other times we've got the exhibits at the conference. Okay, let's see. We've got a question here. As a student, why should I attend IPC? Really good question. We have a couple of programs that are designed specifically for students. One is the student paper competition. Essentially, you contribute a paper through the normal method, submit it by this Thursday for this upcoming conference. And as the committees go through the papers, they try to identify what are sort of the best collection of those papers. And we do that on a topic-by-topic basis. We then go to the conference and we'll come to your talk, listen, and try to figure out a couple of the best papers to highlight from the student contributions. And we have cash award for that program. I also made mention of this graduate student poster competition. This is something that we want you as a student, maybe you've gone and had a paper at another conference. We want you to have an opportunity to come to the Photonics conference, which is a very broad conference, has a lot of folks across all areas, maybe even taking you outside of your current area of focus. And give you the opportunity to present that work again in a poster sort of a format, which is something where you can really engage in a lot more discussion. We think this is a great opportunity for students not only to represent their work, but also to get some additional networking opportunities, meet perhaps your first future employer, and we've got companies coming as well as university professors, maybe some postdoc appointments might be generated out of something like this. So we think it's a great opportunity from that perspective. There's also the normal strength of IPC. I know in our organization we always encourage our early career folks to go to IPC to take advantage of the educational opportunities. Some of those opportunities are more formal in the form of tutorials. Tutorials are generally an hour to an hour and a half where you can really get the full background understanding. You basically got time to explain what it is that this area of research is all about. And so we always would like to encourage our students as well as our more experienced researchers to attend those tutorials to really try and understand what might be happening. And you never know, it may help you to apply to your own research and maybe take it into some new and interesting directions. IPC is also an excellent place to give some of your first talks. It's generally an inviting type atmosphere. Most folks there are really interested in the technology. You'll get lots of questions, and basically you see lots of discussion occur after the talks as people want to hear a little bit more about the conference. And so, in a nutshell, it's really a great opportunity for students, and some of the things that we're adding to the conference this year are focused on students and really helping to make it a good reason for some more students to come and take advantage for everybody's benefit of getting the extra educational opportunities. Okay, let's see. I've got a number of of questions here. This is a good one. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Women in Photonics event that will be happening at IPC? So Women in Photonics is a new program that is actually going to have its launch at IPC this year. We'll be having a reception, a social networking reception on Tuesday night. That would be Tuesday, October 14th. It's open to all, male and female. And basically what this is going to do, it's to launch the Women in Photonics program, which is going to focus throughout the next year and on creating opportunities to engage women in photonics, to promote their work, and assist in promoting them up through ultimately into fellows and being lifelong contributors to the Photonics Society and the Photonics technical community. This is the Photonics Societies, which has always been very strong in bringing women into the technical areas. It's the Photonics Society's addition to Women in Engineering, which has been around for a few decades now and has been very successful. So look for that on Tuesday night. And almost everything that I'll be talking about tonight, you'll have a lot more detail available to you on the website, which is www.ipc-ieee.org, in case it doesn't come up early in your Google search. Let's see. Will the IEEE Photonics Award presentations happen at this year's IPC? Yes, it will. We will. The IEEE Photonics Award. Yes, so we will be having a couple of programs throughout the week. As I mentioned, we will have the closing ceremony, which will be on Thursday. That'll be focused on the student awards. And then we'll have our usual conference reception, which will be on Monday evening. And there we'll have the Photonics Awards, and as well as lots of mingling and networking and food and drink, and keep everybody happy and get ready for the rest of the week with all the contributions that we have from our contributed papers, as well as the invited papers and tutorials and the other more formal parts of the program. Let's see. We have a question here, actually for me specifically. A little bit about you and why did you choose a career in photonics? What drew you to the field? I've been in lasers and photonics for quite a while now. Coming out of undergraduate in 1991, I got a bachelor's of science in physics and was very excited about optical computing and about optical communications and all sorts of things that were really starting to take hold at that time. I went off to graduate school and ended up working in high intensity lasers and ultimately doing plasma physics. And then when I graduated with my PhD in 1998, I went off to the Naval Research Laboratory and got into microwave photonics with the excellent group that was there. And really, it's ever since then I've been focused on microwave photonics and optical communications for the duration of my career so far. And that really started getting me introduced into the Photonics Society as well. And so I guess what I'll do is I'll take a little bit of time based on my own experience to describe for someone how you might get more involved as a volunteer with the Photonics Society. For me, in 2004, I had been at the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory probably a little bit less than a year, and I started looking for some more networking opportunities in the community. And I knew there were a lot of optics companies around still at that time in the Baltimore area. And so I went looking for where's the local chapter, and it turns out there wasn't one. So in 2004, I contacted what was then the Lasers and Electro-Optics Society, LEOS, and asked about forming a chapter in the Baltimore area. And there were a lot of people who were very interested in getting involved. We had no shortage of speakers. Basically, we had a few speakers, on the order of one every month or every couple months. And it was a great way to get introduced to the Photonics Society and kind of start a volunteer, what really amounts to an augmentation of your career through these volunteer services. And so I would encourage everyone to take a look at what your local chapter is up to. Some of them are very strong and have lots of activities, and if they don't, it's really an opportunity for you to step in and maybe introduce some new activities to that local chapter. That also got me more connected to the Photonics Society, and ultimately, I believe it was 2006, I was asked to join Microwave Photonics subcommittee. And from then on, I've been in the Microwave Photonics subcommittee for quite a while. I was the chair for 3 years, from 2010 to 2012. And I've been asked a number of times, how do you get onto a committee? How do you start doing that volunteering? And really, it's just about letting people know that you are interested. We're always looking for folks who've got a little bit of bandwidth to add to these activities. And so I would encourage you to take a look at the subtopics. We've got listed there all the members of the committees, as well as the subtopic chairs. And that's really your first stop for getting involved with, at least with the conference, with IPC. And then you want to take a look at your local chapter to see what opportunities might be available for you there as well. So let's see what other questions I've got here. Got a question here. If we are not able to submit a paper in time for the May 15th deadline, will there be a post-deadline paper session? Yes, there will. We will be having our post-deadline session this year at the very end of the conference. This will be as part of the closing ceremonies. Post-deadlines are an excellent addition to IPC. Essentially, it's the hottest of our topics, right? And these do get extra scrutiny. Basically, we bring together all of the committee chairs to review these papers. That's different from the general contributed papers, which are reviewed by that particular subcommittee that you sent it to. And so the post-deadline papers, we look for really late-breaking research that the whole community needs to see. And so we usually get together on one of the first mornings of the conference, go through those papers, debate them, and pick the best out of the collection, and put together, in this year, what will be a final hottest topics of the photonics community, represented at the end of IPC. So look for that should you miss the May 15th deadline, although I'm very hopeful that most of you still have time to get your paper in for that deadline. Generally speaking, we expect on the order of about 400 papers, and makes this conference a great conference and a great one to attend. So let me cover the special symposiums a bit. We work hard to try and identify formally what are sort of the hottest topics out there that it's time to pull it together for the community. In a 1 to 2 session, depends on the size of the topic. We try to throw together, collection of invited speakers and an expectation for contributed papers coming in that year that would fit in nicely with the special symposium. We've got 4 this year. The first one is optoelectronic devices for solar energy harvesting. So this is a special symposium being put together. It's going to cover photovoltaics, solar fuel devices, solar desalination, and solar water purification, and photocatalysis. If you've got a paper that you think fits into that special symposium, when you go onto the submission site, make sure you try and check that box. We do look through all of the papers to see if there are some that should be transferred over to the special symposium, basically to try and get the best fit for your paper. The second special symposium we have is high power diode lasers and systems. This is basically trying to pull together all the great work and great progress that has happened in high power semiconductor lasers and their usefulness. We're seeing a lot of applications. We're starting to get up into the targeting the kilowatt level performance. We're seeing a lot of laser cutting type applications. We've got applications including medicine, displays, lighting, in fact automobile headlights, and of course diode lasers are a key part of our communication systems. So this symposium is going to be pulling together experts discussing diode laser sources, some beam combining efforts, and an optical systems packaging reliability and manufacturing techniques. So don't miss that one. We have a third special symposium on hollow core fiber space division multiplexing. This is essentially hollow core fibers are offering us extra capacity opportunities, squeezing extra capacity into the same bandwidth. We're always trying to push that optical comms capacity up, and this is going to, in addition to focusing on the materials, these materials also have the opportunity to extend the useful optical bands. And here you're going to see some talks taking us out into the 2 micron region, allowing us to use some other amplification mediums in addition to erbium doped, perhaps thulium doped amplifiers and the like. And the last special symposium we have is Optomechanics. Here, essentially, we are pulling together a group of research and researchers who are working on the interaction between the optical electromagnetic domain and the mechanical domain, and creating new devices to make use of those interactions and working on understanding a lot better these interactions. Essentially, it brings together the microcavity and nano mechanical resonator folks, and it's going to be a don't miss special symposium for us as well. Let's see. I am probably near the end of my time here. That went awfully fast. So IPC is coming up in October. It's going to be, make sure I get the dates right, October 12th is the Sunday. You're definitely gonna want to not miss that Sunday program where we've got some extra things for you. Take a look on the website for the details. And it's going to go through Thursday. And again, you're going to want to plan to try and stay through the duration of the conference, as we are going to have a post-deadline session and the student awards in that closing ceremony, and we're going to do our best to get that done in the second morning session, so those folks who still want to leave on Thursday can basically try to catch their flight after lunch and catch the entire conference and get access to everything that IPC has to offer for you. So I hope this has been helpful. You can feel free to go back to the website often as we add additional information. Please try and keep in mind the paper submission deadline is this Thursday, May 15th. And I thank you for your time. Again, I'm Tom Clark. I'll be your program chair this year. I'm looking forward to seeing you. All right, thank you.